Let's go. Yeah. And this is the Underground World News Live. Man, thank you guys. They're at the gate for the super chats. Steely, legendary. Paisley, exactly. All praise to the Most High. Here tonight, getting this going. Much love, Pure Bloods. Reaper, thank you so much. Hopkinson, yeah, we're in bad shape. Thank you guys. Got lots to cover here tonight. Thank you for the feedback. Much love to everybody out there. Hope you're doing good. Got so much madness always going on. Yeah, it's all over the board. We've got a lot to touch on here. I want to thank anyone that shares the stream. Sharon is Karen, more than you know. And I want to thank anyone that supports the channel. Any coffees, PayPals, anything like that. All support is appreciated, more than you know. And thank you for all of the prayers and things like that. It's all appreciated. So, Dabu7@yahoo.com, the email. You can at me in the chat to get my attention. Try to keep an eye on the chat and the other eye on the stories here. Shalom, good evening, much love. Yeah, and we're live here. This is the new routine from here on out, just like the old one, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern. And yeah, let's get this thing up And go on, let me see here. I'm going to start off up in space. And we're talking about a new launch here from Elon Musk. This has to do with Starlink, and it has to do with doing some stuff they've never done before. Um, this is Starship 13 mega rocket. They launched it. It let loose 20 V3 Starlink satellites. They quickly re-entered and burnt up. I guess it was part of the test. And then they showed this thing coming down in the ocean, but they considered it a success. So, just got so many things going on in space. If you're out anywhere away from the city light, and you look up and you can see, the Milky Way or anything like that, then you're able to see some pretty good detail up in the sky at night. And I'm telling you, all the time, I seen one of the craziest things of my life just here recently. It happened so kind of quick and so nonchalant, and no one to really tell or anything. They have a phone, and they have no way to record it. Just stepped outside, looked up in the sky, and this bright light coming from the north, straight from the north down to the south, came over, and it just got, and it wasn't a meteor. I've seen 1,000 of them. It wasn't moving at the speed of a meteor. It was almost like aircraft speed. And it came, and it got brighter and brighter and brighter, silent, until it got right above me, and then was just gone. Nothing. And happened so quick, so silent. It was this all visual. It was just wild, coming like right at me, above me, and then disappeared right above me. There's so many things going on out there, and we're lied to about so many things that UAPs, UFOs, and whatever. There's all types of wild stuff going on out there. If you got clips, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. I'd love to share them. And yeah, I'll update more as we see these launches go by. On the flip side of this, we got China trying to race with Starlink, and they're trying to do the same thing. And this is going to cause a mess, so to speak, because we've already got so many satellites up there. And you can see them at night. You can see these trams going by, Starlink trams, all this other stuff going by. It's like common these days. And China's trying to match that. So we're going to double the junk floating around out there. That's for sure. So, but I also think that this is interesting as well. China's planning on smashing a Mach 26 spacecraft into an asteroid. Yeah, that's going to be a wild one. Amanda, member of the Underground for 18 months. Much love. So this is part of Frontier Scientific Kinetic Impact on Asteroid Defense. Bone Score, much love, man. Member for 18 months. If they blow one of these things up in the sky, we're going to see it. Mach 26 hitting something that's fairly close, as close as the moon, you're going to see it. Or it's a lie, is what I'm saying. You're talking 20,000 miles an hour hitting something up there. We can see just about anything and everything, of a decent magnitude. And this should give off an explosion, some kind of impact event. The asteroid itself is going to be about 30 meters wide. They already know what it is, where it's going to be, tracking every bit of it. And NASA's talked about this before. I mean, they all talk about some crazy stuff. But if you're really going to do that, think about that. What that's doing. You've got a near-Earth object coming in this way. So Why did you choose to blow this one up? Well, we chose to blow this one up because it was on a trajectory heading right toward Earth. When you blow it up, it doesn't necessarily always change the trajectory. You could just blow it into a bunch of pieces and it still keep moving in on the same path. So you're going to deal with one big impact. You're going to deal with a bunch of fireballs raining down. And you can't stop that then. That's just going to happen by default because of what they're doing. There's different ways they've talked about doing different things, but I don't know what. Pick your poison here. When you've got something incoming, if you do it far enough out, I'd say there's a way to safely do it, but man, this whole thing, man, we're so lied to about everything anyway. And where are these fireballs coming from if it's all fake? Huh? Where's it all coming from? If it's a big dome, ice wall around it, is somebody out there throwing fucking rocks in here? Huh? If the sun's local and inside the dome, how come it takes 3 days for the freaking solar flare to get here? So some of these things I hear I'm trying to understand, but it's got to make sense. The firmament, definitely real. I told you about this before. The Sumerians, they tell you exactly how far out the firmament is, and it sits right at where the Van Allen belts are. I think that's just amazing. Super ancient stuff. They left you numbers when you add them up. That show you amazing things. But most people don't know that because it's not taught in school. It's not in your Bible. It's all been stripped. Jubilees, Book of Enoch, all that good stuff, Book of Giants, Genesis, go on. Our history is fascinating. The most fascinating stuff they tried to strip out. But in a day and age, that might have worked 100 years ago. When you didn't have internet and all this, it was just word of mouth. You could brainwash people a lot easier, this and that. And then you start controlling the education system, the book system. But once you get to where we're at now, where people have a chance to research, and on their end, they screwed up because they didn't clamp down on the internet quick enough. They allow people to discover truths, which is a blessing on our behalf. And we can still do that to an extent. I'm talking to you right now. I believe there's going to be a day here in the future where you're going to have to basically show your credentials just to log on to get onto the B system, to even see a video of anything, to participate in social media, in all these things. That's going to be a scary moment, but I don't think it's far off. I really don't think that some of these goons that are out here in front of us are human either. I know it sounds crazy, this and that, but I don't think Elon is human. And I say that just because of my gut. I don't need any other proof. I don't need anything. I've watched him for so long, his mannerisms. I've watched what he said. I've watched what he does. I look at the position. He's the richest man on freaking earth. Nah, he looks like a lizard anyway. He looks like a frog. But Elon has come out and told you truths because there's rules to the game. They have to tell you the truth in certain instances. This is why they hide it and get away with planning it in your mind subliminally. But Elon said it straight up. If you've missed it here, even recently, in the past year or so, he was on stage. Eric Schmidt, I think he was with maybe, and he had made the statement that he was an alien. He flat out said it. When the world's richest man, who has the highest potential to really be a shapeshifter or something else, tells the whole world, and this wasn't the only time, he's done it before, but he did it, he said it, and everybody laughed. And he looked at the dude next to him. I mean, you go look his video up and watch it. He looked at him like, I'm a dumbass. I'm a dumbass for even telling him the truth. The sense I got instantly, he looked at the dude next to him. He's like, see, he even said, he's like, see, they don't believe me. He said it out loud. So then he turned around and he gave them the dumbed down version. I'm like, okay, you've got an alien life form right here. I just told you what it was, and your dumbasses couldn't even accept it or believe it. You laughed at it. Oh, it's so funny, and then it's ridiculous. But it's happened. So that's where we're at. They're looking at us like we're that stupid, even though we're all not that stupid. When the herd, the majority of the pack, is that stupid, that's all that counts. That's all that counts. That's all they were ever after. A little bit of the majority. They control that. You control the sway of everything. You lose that, and then they lose control. They lose that, and then they lose control. We'll speak into existence. He can have all the money in the world, but if he ain't got the most high of of everything on his side, he's lost. This is also a man that wants to put a Neuralink chip in your brain. He's an advocate for mixing iron with clay, the technology with mankind. Right out of your Bible again. He's also warned you and put the statement out there that they're trying to summons the demon. He said it. In terms of CERN, he said it all. I give him those props because the truth is the truth. Colleen, counting the day. Thank you for the coffees. I appreciate the support more than you guys know. To the fullest. To the fullest. And somebody let me know if they see Deanne sliding here. Oh, there she is. Look down. See her right there, man. I can't thank you enough, Deanne. More than you know. Deanne Lowe. So, here we go. Off to the next one. Energy Department issues an emergency order. So it kind of begins here. I don't know if you've got the warning or the alert. And see, I don't know because I'm off grid. And they can't shut me down in that sense, in terms of like pulling the plug. And I got to say, it feels good to be able to maintain power when a storm is taking out power for everywhere around you. Sucks for everybody else, yeah, and it could easily be you if you didn't prepare. But when you've prepared, and you're still running, it pays off. It's the point when it all pays off when you're sitting there and you can hear generators from all the mountains around running and all this. It's like, damn, there's a bunch of them going. It's for days and days and days. Right then, you don't even have to check the internet, check a Facebook, check anything to see what's going on. You just know. You know by the sound of all them generators that people are without power. And that only lasts for so long when you have only so many supplies. You only got so much gas to run. And say you're flooded out, bad, got landslides. That's happened here. You can't get out for like a week or more. It gets crazy, man. I'm seeing the hot weather is a weapon for sure. And you can use the hot weather best in a drought condition. And they made sure that this year they set us up in a mega drought. And thank you, Reaper, for the coffee. And they've done a fine job of causing destruction. Silver Sailor, D. White. Much love, my boys. Thank you for sharing the stream. I appreciate it, guys. We saw several heat domes coming through. E-Fits Tacos. I don't know. Let me check. Go over and check the chat real quick. Actually, I'm gonna get a refresh. It's like hung up. Hopefully everything's 5x5. If you guys have seen rolling blackouts or brownouts or anything like that, let me know in the chat. And and at me like D White just did right there. That way I know you're talking to me. Um, Much love, Academy. Everybody out there, man. Hope you're doing good tonight. EC, Lisa, Bud, Deborah, the man Kev Bar, Rusty, Shady, Christ is King, John Boy. Much love to everybody out there. Gora. Everything looking good. Thank you for the feedback, everybody. Keep it pushing here. Let's talk about what you see there in the title, the Food Freedom Movement. Okay? And I believe this whole movement, it's just getting a jump start. It's just getting going right now. Because people are seeing how tyrannical everything is, right? They're seeing just everything. Everyone sees everything. It used to really not be this way. There was a time 10 years ago when we were talking about all this, people didn't see it. Like nowhere near as clear. Like they just didn't. Like we could sit there and tell them the Mossad did this and did that and did this. And like no one was trying to hear it. Like, but Israel's in my Bible. But. And not anymore. Not anymore. Now it's not a question. You should be caught up to speed unless you're just awakening. You should be caught up to speed on who the enemy is. The same hand that kills every single person that you've ever known, every artist, anyone that had a big name that's been picked off 99% by the hand. And they are attacking us constantly. Constant. And food is a mechanism of attack. They don't like it when you're growing your own stuff. So hear me when I tell you and I'm warning you, I just know this. And it should just make sense when you hear it that they're going to attack this whole thing if they are not already. We have this whole thing going on with the lettuce they tried to say, and I'm going to get to that in a separate piece. And now they're saying they can't pin it to that. It came from Mexico, but is that changing? You can almost guarantee when it comes to our food supply here that something's happening. And now that you have a parasite or something that's 41 states, dude, this is a setup. This is a setup. This is an attack on the food supply. So I can see them, just like with the chickens. What they do? They show up at farmers, ranches, places that have a bunch of chickens, big operations. They knock on the door. They're like, excuse me, sir, we just touched one of your chickens. It has bird flu, blah, blah, blah. You got to kill them all. You got 90 days. We'll be back. See you. It's over. People got X amount of time to kill every single one of their chickens because they just showed up and they said they have a positive test. And that's it. Like they are the judge, jury, and executioner. Literally. In the situation. Now, you don't think that this whole situation isn't right for them to say, oh, we tracked this back to small-time urban farmers. A farmer's market. People that were growing their own stuff. Wasn't getting checked by the FDA. Wasn't getting inspected, their approval. Huh? Can guarantee you. Guarantee you. And when you see these things happen, who benefits from it? It's the government. As any investigator does, you always got to look at who benefits from all this. That's the culprit. And voila, there you have it again. You just wait and watch. They've got us at a critical point. They really do. And remember, they got everything manipulated. Trump ordered the eggs to be at a certain price and level. He did this whole huge deal with the meat and all that I covered and told you about. And people are oblivious to this. He also barked at all the gas stations and said, $2.50 all your gas, even though most didn't listen because he didn't signed an executive order. He just barked it. But the rest of the world's prices are continuing to rise. So when Russia's diesel is rising and Saudi Arabia and all this, the price is rising, and ours is just kind of sitting there, dude, we're getting buffaloed. It'd be one thing if it sat there and all the rest of the world prices came back down, and then they'd be like, oh, okay, we're good. But that's not going to happen. Nothing can come back down when nothing has been resolved. The situation that got us into this Hormuz, in this war that Trump is in, has caused us. Let me tell you right now, as of right this very second, the bomb's dropping. And this is far from over. I'm telling you, there's polls out there saying it's going to last over a year. And some people just now catching on that were falling for, we'll have a deal tomorrow. Like, they fell for it like 100 times. Like, pathetic. They're just now seeing that, like, no, this isn't going away. And when this spreads to the other strait in the Red Sea, the Strait of Tears, it's going to cause some tears. I can almost guarantee you that's why it's called that. It's all set up. Sure, why would you call it that? Because it's going to cause tears when they shut it down. That those two combined, the whole Middle East will be locked up. And hey, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for all the coffees and support there, Steve. Again, I appreciate it to the fullest. Yeah, I see your message. So keep this in mind. You're growing food, you become a target. I know a lot of people out there have been growing, rightfully so, and congratulations. People out there that grow their own, no matter what it is. Everyone's got their own garden, farming out there, doing whatever it is, putting in the work to make it happen. It's not easy. It takes time, takes effort. Um, but in the end, it's worth it, right? Because you grew it. You know how you grew it. Lakeville set a membership there, man. Whoever got it, welcome to the underground. And Crown Jewels, if you're out there, brother, fight a flame. If you could, please let me know. Give me a confirmation, a yes or no, if you know anything on this explosion that this took place in the UK. Because if anyone's going to know anything on it, it's going to be you or any of you guys over there in the UK listening. Any one of you, they got anything on that? Because I seen some stories on it and I hesitated on tweeting it out because I don't know, I go with my gut, man. And like something just seemed off and I couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't get any information on what caused it, like, or any other real information. Like a normal story breaks. So I was kind of like, you should be able to just Google search it right now and like a dozen stories be there. And if that's missing, then something's wrong. Do you see? So again, anyone out there growing, you may recall there's been helicopters floating not only over me and this property, but all kinds of properties out there. And there's been guys in bushes watching guys growing on their property, not anything illegal, just food, and targeting them. So, okay, so there you are, Crown Jewels. Um, Hopefully you heard what I said. If you could let me know of that explosion that happened in Essex or whatever in the UK. Um, Now that I see you're in here, Crown Jewels, I'm not sure if you heard me or not, but I asked, if you knew anything about the explosion that apparently took place over there. I'm trying to get a confirmation on if it really happened, if it's real news, something's going on or not. I figured you would know. Yeah, you'd have the local scoop at least or something. So I'll keep my eyes open to see if you respond. Missed it, bro. Not heard about it. See, how is that possible? I just don't see how. That's why I didn't tweet it out. Like, see, that's not right. In a normal big news event, like you should have definitely like, kind of heard about it in your area. Okay, good. You're gonna look now. Okay. All I saw was one regurgitated clip, and I don't know. Maybe something did, but I'm just trying to get more info on it, and that's it. So thank you. Okay. So Lamont reported on it. He lives in the UK. Okay. Well, um, fertilizer factory per BBC here. Hey, I love the feedback. This is what I'm talking about right here. Dude, it's on BBC and I hate them. Well, hey, that's all I was looking for. Was just that feedback. Just that quick. That's all you had to do. You have to get rude about it. Thank you, though, those that participated there in the quick feedback. I do appreciate it. So, fertilizer factory, per Miss Brady, and not too surprising in terms of an explosion. But a fertilizer factory is kind of suspect because fertilizer is in short supply right now. Everything going on with everything being choked off, that's one of the main things. And when it got choked off, Russia and China specifically stopped exporting all fertilizers and everything connected. Like we are in World War. Like I don't know, like people like are just failing to see it. Like we are in World War by all definitions. Multiple open battlefronts where soldiers from different countries are sent in, dying on the front lines, and it's all there, man. Um, but the people just waiting for a nuke, it seems, before they can accept it's World War III. But the nuke's usually the end, dude. Uh, you don't know who's going to catch it, and it could be an exchange. And just remember, all the simulations show that when one nuke is launched, all these countries launch, and like it's a chain event that you cannot stop, and like it will be nuclear winter. The fact that it's even set up and possible to do that is just stupid and ridiculous. Um, Especially as we're letting AI take over everything. Give me a break. They'll turn this place to a wasteland quick and just wipe out the humans, and they'll live through it. And they'll live through it. Gets creepy. The Jinn will be running around in Terminator bodies and will have killed us all. Meaningless pawn. Thank you for the coffee. Thank you so much, everybody. We got a recall. So add this to the whole thing with the food, right? Millions of eggs recalled in 6 states now over fears of contamination with deadly bacteria. Again, add this to what's happening with the food. With this whole thing, parasite thing going on, they can't really get a beat on it. Now you've got the eggs being recalled en masse. Salmonella. This is coming from Kroger stores in Texas, Louisiana, in Brookshire, grocery locations in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, New Mexico, and Mississippi. I know that affects some of you. I'm sorry, but Midwest Poultry Service is the company recalling nearly 1.6 million dozen cartons. That's not 1.6 million eggs. Times that by 12. It's dozens cartons going out there. And just another thing, it's like, what can you trust? You can trust nothing. It's a setup. And I don't trust them at all. They are the types to go into a flea market or a farmer's market, and like when no one's looking, spray a couple items with some crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious. These people are evil, man. They've locked us down and they've done everything else, man. They're evil. Nothing's changed. None of them have been arrested. They play musical chairs. That's how the establishment works, and they keep on with their evilness. This is like one big experiment. I'm tired of being experimented on. It's something everywhere. Whether it's the food or the air you breathe, the water you drink, you go for a hike out in the woods, the ticks attacking you. Like it's everywhere. It's everything. Sick of it. And it's all coming from the same beast, the same hand. The same hand that just so happens to kill everybody that you know throughout history. Everybody knows who the bad guy is. No one's got the kahunas to do anything about it. And that's the truth. So we got another one here. A popular snack food discovered that contains toxins that are linked to organ damage and cancer. And they say here, they say it like this. They say snacks made of corn and grains, including popcorn, corn chips, cereal, and coffee, were found to have high levels of mycotoxins, contaminants that came from mold and fungi, is what they're trying to say here. Man, look, I've seen some of the most disgusting things when it comes to chips, like to where I can never even want to touch one again. I seen how they process like Lay's in like India and some of these factories, and there's a guy like standing in the chips, like in a fluid bat, like pushing chips off the side. It's disgusting. It's so disgusting. And then it all gets dry, gets bagged, and sent to you. And then somebody took the chips and put it under a microscope. Just took the finger, wiped the chip, all the stuff that's on the top, and put it under the microscope, and you could see all the stuff just moving. It's just like, and that's what everyone's just opening the bag, popping it in their mouth, and eating. Are you kidding me? But your FDA approves that. Again, it's a setup because it's a big experiment, and they don't give a damn about us. I appreciate that, Kenzo. I really do. Thank you for the kind words. I try to keep it clean in that sense. Paisley said earlier something about Jesus. If I only mentioned Jesus, he'd call this church. Well, all praise to the Most High, Jesus, Yeshua. Yeah, I seen somebody the other day that really ticked me off. I got to say something. It was an account on X called 1984. It's a very popular account. I followed it for a while throughout all the stuff. And some of you probably follow him over there. He's got the mustache thing going on, this and that. Well, he totally disrespected in my book. You just don't do this. Like, you just don't disrespect. You don't go making fun of like Buddha or Allah or whatever. You just don't do it. It's childish. It's disrespectful. You just don't do that. And he was capping on Yeshua. And it did it right there. Whether you want to call the Most High Jesus, Yeshua, and everyone's got a different understanding of this, but he was being belligerent and cussing it and telling people to like, it was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting. So I just, no way. Don't ever bring someone like that up to me ever. Any of you guys out there can hear me? Yeah, that's right. If you follow them, just don't even ever send me a link on them or anything. I say these things, and like later down the road, somebody send me a link, and it's like, But if you're going to send me something, just send me something direct. Don't tag me in a bunch of other people, because chances are some of them are going to be some shills. And people just don't realize that, because all they do is they float around and they watch, they consume. And it's like an entertainment type thing or something. I don't get it. And like, some of these guys out here are not here for the truth. They are here to show and make money. That's all they've ever been out here to do. And when you tag me, I get tagged sometime and I'll look and it'll be like me and 5 names tagged, and like 4 of the 5 are like blocked because they talk crap about me. I've never done nothing to them. All I can ever chalk it up to is the same thing it always is: hate and envy. I'm the one with the envy like cowboy. That's right. For whatever reason. Because I keep it real raw. I do nothing to these people. But that's this world. I'm going to keep it pushing. You better think twice about those chips you're eating. Nestle shares plunge the most since the .com bust. I'm just, some of these shares are just tanking out, and some of the shares are doing some crazy things you'll see in a top out. Like Apple. I seen a thing on Apple today. Somebody shared. Where it ran. And you'll have some, they're called blow off tops. You'll have some of these bigger ones do this at the top. If you start to see other big places making runs like this, Microsoft, or Amazon, or something like that, SpaceX, whatever, running. I would say SpaceX, not anything fresh, not the new IPO. It hasn't had time to settle or anything. TNF in the house, man. No, brother, you're good. You're good, man. TNF, man, you're solid cat, man. Always out there, always sharing, always fighting the fight, man. Some of you guys are just, I see you on the daily, so salutes to you, man. You're out there fighting. I know we're censored. Trust me, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. It's a fight, but I appreciate you. Gas prices, another thing. It's gonna eventually piss off the pack. Is that how you could put it? Because when Americans here see their gas creep up to around $5, things gonna get real crazy. They stopped it last time. Now we're so close to the $100 mark that all the stories you read are back and forth. Like it's above. It just hit 100. Oh, it's back below, or it's back above, back below, back above. It's no different than like, oh, there's gonna be a deal tomorrow. Oh, it's back to war. Well, there'll be a deal tomorrow. No. I'm not playing the back and forth crap. Like, we could see where this is going. It's an upward trajectory. And once this clips 120 and stays there, the heat is on in terms of 120 a barrel. And it stays there and like starts to go parabolic climb. You can almost guarantee that when we strike, and we're about to, and I ain't even to the war stuff yet, but I'm going to tell you, it's about to get crazy. Like, you better get ready for war. Like, I made a song for it and everything. We make songs for a reason. Okay? And I'm real deal on this. Like, they are hammering them. And like, most of the world is not paying attention. We've hammered them for 2 weeks straight. Pounding Iran. Key spots, power plants even. Which ones they haven't come out and said. They're being kind of tight-lipped on the interior details. We just know the bombs are flying. Iran's firing back, hitting places, any target that they want, really. They're showing that they can slip missiles in anywhere. We don't have any, like, nowhere's safe. We really have no defense. And like, come on, man. I report on this all the time. All the time. I've not once told you, oh, dude, we just shot down other hypersonics. Not once. Instead, hypersonics are slipping through everywhere. Bahrain, Kuwait, and the bodies are stacking up. And they're wiping our bases out to where we have to pull back. These frontline bases are useless at this point. You can't go back to them, because if you go back to them, you got to rebuild. And just in the process of rebuilding, they get licked again. So they're not going back. Our whole front line in this whole war has been kind of rocked. So all we're doing is pounding them from our warships, pounding them from out in the water, softening up targets along the coast, and softening up targets around the southern point of Iran up to an oil field, the South Pars oil field. That's important when it comes to all this economic stuff because gas prices are going to go crazy when this move's made. There's no stopping it. Trump can try to cap stuff again, but it doesn't matter. You're going to watch the price of diesel and, like I said, Russia and other countries just keep on rising and blow past $6, $7, $8. The problem is when you run out of something, there is no rationing, there is no price point. And that's the evil trick that Trump's playing on everyone here. That's the evil trick, is when, because all these things, they're destined, if it keeps getting worse, to just dry up at some point. Our strategic freaking reserves are at tank bottoms, and we are not refilling them. It's a setup beyond setup. The oil traders are even flipping out about this. Like, the average Joe out there is oblivious to all this, and they're all going to get rocked, is all I can say. Yeah. I don't know. This whole country runs on diesel, and I'm really watching diesel. So if diesel up and runs and does something crazy, I mean, everything that's shipped is going to go through the roof right there. And when there's no more diesel, what happens? That'd be a real test. And the EMP is a real possibility. It's on the table. Seen threats from North Korea tonight saying that if we were to use nukes on Iran, that they would launch nukes at us. Open threats. And somebody tell me why Kim Jong-un has been able to sit over there in his little corner popping off missiles and open threats on nukes. Yet you're so concerned about Iran having just an enrichment project, haven't even got to the point to where they've got nukes and like threatening or doing anything like that. But like, yet this guy's down there just putting everybody at threat. Japan is a threat. South Korea, everybody around is like a threat. Not China, because they're like kind of China's little puppet, if you ask me. They're backed by them, and then Russia. So I don't know, man. I always wondered, why did they let him just run wild? Why haven't you surrounded them with warships over there? Why haven't you taken him out? Why haven't you dropped a decapitation strike on him and taken him out? Huh? If nukes are a threat, if this whole thing is what you say, I don't believe any of the crap. Much love, Lakeville. Let's jump into Bitcoin real quick. I know some of you are not into the whole crypto thing, and no doubt, but you can't just ignore things. You got to see where things are going. At this point, Bitcoin has been exposed as being our government's baby. And there's no more doubting that. Too many people have admitted it out of our own government. And look no further than the Epstein files themselves that showed Epstein admitting right there in the emails that he had Satoshi himself at his house for dinner and talked about the whole thing. Satoshi is a real individual connected to our U.S. government, and this is why they allowed it in the whole system. I mean, anyone with a brain should know that our government would never let something so powerful, if it was controlled by someone else, like come into our country. It would have to be their baby, and it is. It's built on a protocol that was made by the NSA, a hash that was made by the NSA, a foundation. So, Bitcoin is a technology, right? So to speak, technology, digital. It's a blockchain. Kind of, when it comes to blockchain, it's basic. It's everything is stored in a block, and then it's hashed, it's sealed off, and it's connected like a ball and chain to the next block. That information for that moment in time is stored in that block. It's off to the next block, and You can always go back in time into every block and you can open it and you can see all the information, every transaction, every detail, every single thing that happened that day to a T, everything. And you cannot escape it once this happens. This is why we call it the Beast blockchain, ball and chain. Again, did songs on that. But quantum computing is a game changer because before quantum computing really became a real full-fledged thing, Bitcoin was rolled out. This last time we hit 100, whatever it was, Bitcoin just topped out high, 120 some thousand, and then pulled back. What was one of the main FUDs? Bad information out there, bad news that brought this down. What brought it down? It was FUD that a quantum computer cracked Bitcoin. It made it obsolete. And as soon as that information hit the masses and got out there, the whole thing came down from the top. And it was timed perfectly. They do these things on purpose. It's always timed out with FUD to make sure that the whole thing comes down the way they want it, like a controlled demolition. Because they're shorting this too, the market. And they want to make sure that no one's going to counter anything. And this whole thing's a setup. But when you learn the ropes of the setup, you know this is how they do it every single time. But the gig's up. Like we've seen here, you've had like 4 or 5 cycles to watch Bitcoin throughout the past decade or so, to where it's blown up to where it's at now. They're trying to say now that a quantum roadmap, they're flipping the script from what I just told you. They're trying to say a quantum roadmap will push Bitcoin higher. So this almost exact type of news, because it's that important, it's the linchpin, can't you see? It's the one piece of news that will bring this whole thing down or let it take off like a rocket. It's quantum. It either kills it, it's the kryptonite, or it gives it life, right? Like, which is it? Well, it's whatever they say it is. I'm going to tell you. Because if they need Bitcoin to survive this whole thing a little longer because they haven't installed their CBDC, then they'll find a way, and they will do just that. And Bitcoin will go on another run. And they go on another run. They'll crack that $250,000 with it. They will. They'll do it. And who knows? These cats, if they do that, nothing's stopping them from getting Bitcoin to $1 million. Nothing. Okay? And I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Once you get to 250, $1 million's right there. They're not stopping. Okay? It's just the way the crypto game goes when you know how it flows. When you know how the bull market goes, you just know. I just know. I've watched all this for too long. And there's what they call mental checkpoints and barriers where things will FOMO. Again, the next benchmark, we already hit 120 on Bitcoin. The next big benchmark is going to be like at least 200,000, and a lot are going to set at 250. If it breaks that, it could FOMO up to 3. But what could kill it? The same exact news will bring it down off the top. Well, guess what? They just dropped one story, one article. It says quantum computer just made Bitcoin obsolete, and that will literally be the death of it. Because they have to play that card at some point. It will die at some point. They have to make sure that that's aligned with the event, getting this whole place switched over to a digital blockchain currency. They're very close. All they got to do is hold your money hostage in the bank and get you to download an app or a wallet with the USDT on it. And you can spend it anywhere. And they're on the sidelines trying to figure out why no one can get their money out of the bank. People can go about their business. A week or two has slipped by. They still can't figure out what's going on. But everything's okay because every time you've earned everything in your account, you can spend everywhere. And everyone has got to accept it by mandatory executive order. Okay? 3 weeks, 4 weeks go by. They never can figure out what happened. And what happens then? They in one fall swoop make cash obsolete in a trick. And who care after a month or two goes by and everyone can keep spending? Again, this is all about controlling the sheep, a majority of the pack. If a majority of them are like, oh well, and just go along with it, then it's oh well. It's over. It's game over. Just like that. They would have killed cash. And quietly have been killed off night after night, day after day, as that event goes by. What are you going to do about it? Are you finally going to get up and go protest about something? Yeah, right. People don't do nothing in this country, and that's why it's dying. The revolution was waged on a very, very small percentage on a tea tax. They tax you every which way. They tax your income, every dollar you earn. They tax every single thing that you buy. When it comes to crypto, they were taxing every single move you made, everywhere you sent it. And that's still up in the air, all while the Trump administration makes billions. Oh well. I say buy silver and gold. I stick to it. You can't go wrong with it. The caveat always is that your government could try to confiscate it one day. You can't put nothing past them. These minions. All right, so silver landed at 58.90 closing. In gold, after it had a run up back up to over 41, it's back down to 4,068. It's not showing a lot of life. I'm not sure. Usually the war used to make it run hard. Big bombs have been dropping. It's not running hard. Some peaceful news can sometimes make it pull back, but it depends on the environment. If a bunch of countries all of a sudden, because of war, need to sell gold, they could dump everything out because they've got to get dollars to go buy more bombs, because bombs aren't bought in gold, it's bought in dollars. You see, that's how the world works. That's why so many places have just seen what's coming, the inevitable, and they've said, no, we're just going to accept gold and silver as currency for what it is, right? But yeah, we're in the 50s. We're in the 50s on silver. A lot of people quit talking about this stuff when there's no hype there, right? I'm telling you, it's time. Go grab you some. Grab you a little bit of silver, man. Let's look at some numbers real quick. We'll run through a couple charts real quick. What is that light? It's the moon. I'm like, what is this? What am I seeing in the corner of my eye in the sky? It's the moon. All right, so damn. It's kind of widespread. If you see your state in negative, that means that you're going in reverse in terms of the birth rate, death rate. Like there's more people dying than being born. And then the opposite, if you see a positive there, whatever state you're in. Across the board, it's different there, I guess. But when we look at a different map, healthcare spending, which is a big thing. Here's another one you can take a look at. You can see Utah has the lowest in terms of healthcare spending, and Alaska got the highest out there, followed by like DC, New York. Wow, West Virginia up there. Some of these places in the Midwest are hitting harder. You can see here West Virginia, Indiana, Ohio, Missouri. Yeah, so that's what people are paying. It's different everywhere now. In terms of the economy, it's kind of no secret that all right, hold on 1 second. We got breaking news. Whenever I see breaking here, in a much loved silver sailor, explosion in Jazan, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Aramco oil terminal in Jazan. So it very possibly just got hit, just got struck, because Saudi Arabia is stepping up. Um, I got a whole piece on Saudi here in just a second, but interesting, interesting. These explosions here. I'm telling you, we're in World War, and the lemmings just don't see it. But we're also in a bubble. We're in an AI bubble. AI is the thing that once it bursts, it will bring down this whole thing. They've told you clearly. It's kind of clear to see. It's the big thing. And just like .com and anything else, when it when it pops, there's going to be a pullback. There's going to be a bear market. The problem is this is so big. This may be the one to bring down the whole house of cards, and I kind of feel like it is, because they need to reset this. They want to reset it. They let it be known. It's not a secret. They need a catalyst, and I think what he's saying right here, closing time on the AI bubble is sooner than most think. I think he's right here in the statement. I think that it's going to happen. Just it happens whenever they say. Most people are going off of news and articles and everything else. Well, if you're going off of what someone else has already written or reporting, it means a whole another crew of people have already made a move ahead of you. This whole thing is a setup. I would set shorts. I'm telling you, I would be ready to set shorts. And honestly, that's also what Apple could have been doing earlier as well. Right before a huge drop off, especially if they know something's going to come, you'll see a spike up in the end. And the reason why is because they're going to wipe out any and all of the shorts that were already set at the top there. Okay, it's going to find a footing, and then they'll set their shorts, and they'll be the only one sitting at the top of shorts. Then the whole thing pops and it comes down. They ride it all the way down. Now, this is illegal. Okay, this is illegal out there in most markets, in the stock market or anything else. But this happens all the freaking time. What happens is businessmen get together and they say, "Oh, there's this company that's listed on the stock exchange that has a stock at, say, let's just go with a round number, $50 a stock. And it used to be worth hundreds, but it's maybe even thousands. Okay. So it's worth $50 right now. And the company's for sale. And these guys are like, they look at it and they're like, we buy this company. We can put shorts on it. Short it. Which means in the market, you go and you get leverage and you put money that this thing is going to collapse. And what they do, since they just bought the freaking company, is they go in and they collapse it. They just collapse it on down. They just let it go to hell. They just waste it. And let the whole thing just go tumbling down, and they benefit from this the whole way down, the whole crash down, $50 down to $1. They shorted it. Do you see? And they do this like clockwork. These minions. I mean, get hit to the game, man. You wonder why there's so many billionaires running around here? There's rules to this game, too. You'd be surprised that let them get away with all this stuff legally. And if you knew them, you could be doing it, too. It's true. I'm going to play this clip here. That talks on this a little bit. So just a quick piece. It's a long one here, but I'm just going to play a short piece of it here. It's worth hearing.
Hey, thanks for having me on again, Greg. So to be clear, we had two scenarios when we last talked. One was the conflict would get resolved, in April-May timeframe. Oil would peak out around 125. Inflation would peak out in May and go lower. That's what happened. But recently, we're having the MOU is basically torn up, and oil has been back on the rise. Oil collapsed to around, low 70s, high 60s after the MOU. It's now 80 and change. So unless this is resolved quickly, the other scenario is on the table, but we'd have to break meaningfully above $125 to $100 a barrel of oil, and then keep going. But we're not seeing that yet. But if this conflict isn't resolved soon, that scenario is on the table. Then inflation would peak out at a much higher level, and we'd also see demand destruction, and our recession call will happen that much sooner. Global slowdown. So we're not rooting for that. We hope the administration either, gets a peace deal, another ceasefire, or the Iranians give up, something like that.
And that part isn't going to happen, if you ask me. It's not going to happen. Iranians not giving up. They're not even trying to talk about a peace deal right now. Word is that the new Khomeini, Mushta, or whatever his name is, he's more hell-bent on using nukes than ever. That he's got a different viewpoint. Where this administration screwed up is Khomeini. They should never kill Khomeini. They're stupid. They're absolutely stupid for that move, for the move that they made, with no plan around it. This whole thing has been a blunder. All right, that's why, to begin with. It's been embarrassing. Already costing American lives, and we got drugged into this by Israel. And guess what? Smotress of Israel just came out and says, we're not getting involved. What do you mean you're not getting involved? Oh, your allies are taking shots over here. Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq now, Jordan, everyone's taking shots, and you're sitting on the sidelines? What do you mean? You're just sitting out? That's what he said. Yeah, there's no need for us to get involved right now. Like, dude, you can shove it. Like, they got us into this. And the dudes with little cubes on their heads controlling Trump are just letting him go now and letting America try to take control of this whole thing. And they don't have the strategy. They don't have the power. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because Iran's winning. They're winning in the sense of they're still there. And they turn this into a war of attrition. They know that Trump is squirming. They know that if they drag this out, it's going to make him look worse. It's going to make the whole global economy, everything. And like I said, when they lock down the Strait of Tears, the Houthis, it's really game over. You're going to find out why they call it the Strait of Tears. I don't know, man. I don't know if gas is creeping back up in your neck of the woods, or just keep an eye on some things. That's all you can do, right? And have a plan. We start to see things turn. We're on top of it. I'm live three times a week, so I don't see, if you're someone that consumes a bunch of gas and fuel, or a farmer, I would already have had like a big something container, big something that you're stocking up on fuel if you're consuming a lot of it, and just staying ahead of the game that way, keeping that thing stocked, using that a little bit out of it at a time. It's not. The bombs flying. All I can really think of here, I'm not even to the war stuff here yet, is what tomorrow morning's headlines are going to be. I looked down at the time just randomly, and it's 10:10. That's how it works with me all the time. 222, 323, 10:10, 11:11, 12:12. I get it all. And there it was. I mean, I just did it live. I just randomly went down, looked, just like I just down doing right now, and it says down here in the right hand corner 10:10. That's a pull that I get. Do you understand this? Do you understand how real this is? I can't explain it to the fullest at all, but I'm telling you, it's a pull that I get. It's a pull. It's usually to my phone to check it, and I hit it just like I did now with my hand just to get it in, and there it says 10:10. And like you would just not believe. It's all the time, like, and I'll just scream it out loud. Like, I get out of the shower and come in here and just like sit down. I don't even know what time it is, but like just have the pull to do it. Like, look over and be boom. You'd be like 5:55. You'd be like, what? And it's just like every time. It happens all the time. If you don't know, that's what happens to me. Anyway, let's go to financial repression. This is a problem that allows the government to quietly confiscate your money. And how they do it is keeping inflation high as interest in terms of savings is low. So say you want to go to a bank and you wanted to drop some money and do a thing where they're going to give you like a 1 or 2% interest on whatever money you put in there. If you keep it in there over time, it's gonna make some money, right? Well, with inflation above that, it's what people don't understand. People are going there even today. People be going in there and doing exactly what I told you. They think that putting their $20,000 into a savings where they're getting 1, 2, 3% interest is all good. But as long as inflation is above that, it's not. It's what they don't understand, what they don't see. And see, that's the thing with inflation, period. It's the hidden, I don't know what to call it. It's like, it's what's eating away the value of your currency. And people just don't even see it. Okay, thank you for that comment there, Sailor. But things to think about there if you're investing money. Let's go into the humanoid robot market. It's accelerating. This comes down to chips. And on the last show, I told you about these stories that keep happening. What we had was a series of things, and you need to know this if you missed the last show, because of what I'm about to say about it all. Matter of fact, I need to go over here and open up and thank you again, Sailor. I'm going to have to do some searching here real quick, but trying to find. Here it is. Got it. This. So I'm just going to play this. And then we're going to talk about this. Okay? This is everything I've warned you about. Listen in here. Listen in here. If you missed this video, this is over a decade old. Okay? But this is very important because this is where it all began. And for everybody showing up at the scene, trying to figure out what's happening here, trying to make sense of data centers and the gen and the consciousness and how there's a connection. I try to tell you, but I'm not a physicist. And like people, you hear me say it, but like when these guys say this, and thank you, Sailor, Explosion Herd, and the Yemeni capital of Sana'a. All right, thank you. I'm going to play this and listen to what this guy says, and then I'm going to expand on that.
From our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. From the outside, they look like giant black monoliths, big metal boxes, about 10 feet on a side, 12 feet tall. And they are powered, they have a fridge inside them, a refrigerator that cools these chips to almost absolute zero. Just a wisp, a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. Hundreds of times colder than interstellar space. Amongst the coldest and most isolated and extreme conditions that humans have ever been able to engineer. These fridges, interestingly enough, which are called pulse tube dilution refrigerators, have a thing called a pulse tube, which emits a sound roughly once per second, which sounds eerily like a heartbeat. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god. They really are impressive machines. At the heart of this big box is a tiny chip about the size of your thumbnail. And on this chip resides all of the wonder and magic that makes this thing go. In quantum mechanics, there's this concept that a thing can exist in two states which are mutually exclusive at at the same time, quote unquote. And I'm using those words because the English language was developed before we had concepts to describe what these things actually are doing. Imagine that there really are parallel universes out there, and now imagine you have two that are exactly identical in every respect, all the way out to the horizon as far as we can see, down to the last little atomic detail of every single thing, with only one difference. And that's the value of a little thing called a qubit on this chip, which is a contraction of quantum bit. And that qubit is very much like a bit or a transistor in a conventional computer. It has two distinct physical states, which we call 0 and 1 for bit. In a conventional computer, these are mutually exclusive. That device is either one or the other, and never anything else. In a quantum computer, that device can be in this strange situation where these two parallel universes have a nexus, a point in space where they overlap. And when you increase the number of these devices, every time you add one of these qubits, you double the number of these parallel universes that you have access to. Until such time when you get to a chip like this, which is about 500 of these bits, you have something like 2 to the 500th power of these guys living in that chip.
Living in that chip. Living in that chip. Do you understand now? This is without a doubt what I'm telling you. It is. This is the type of stuff that we talk about deep and we break. That the shills will grab here later. They'll cut my name out of it. When they never spoke on this throughout any of these months, any of these years, they're not me. They just don't cover it. They'll do it like me. But they'll do this. You watch. They'll cover all this information a different way, and they'll make sure that I'm cut out in every form and fashion. They're not talking about it now, but you just watch how this picks up. You just watch. Okay? And it's just how it goes. I'm telling you, and I've been telling you, this technology is like Frankenstein in the jinn, the ghost realm, in the ether. The consciousness, these entities that are conscious, are inhibiting. They are inhibiting this technology. And he just explained to you from back in D-Wave. D-Wave was the beginning of all this stuff, or back toward the beginning of all this. This is before all the talk of big data centers. Listen to what he said on the inside of everything, what it took to cool it down. Okay? This is before the whole data center boom. The data center now is the new modern concept of D-Wave. They're like D-Wave on steroids, okay? With their own power supplies and all this other stuff you already know. But the fundamentals, what are they doing? What is it really doing? Well, it needs all this because literally this conscious entity needs all of this power to function. That's what they're doing. It's all this is. What are you feeding all this resource into? We're feeding it into the data center. Like how? You're just dumping all this energy into the data center. Where's it going? It's going into these chips. It's going into the chips, and then what? Why is it going into the chips, the chips? Because inside the chips, they live. He just told you this. When it clicks finally for everybody, they're going to see the gen are right here bleeding through in the technology. Now that you can see this, it's no wonder why in this open AI thing, their bot escaped and goes over and hacks a rival company, tries to hold them hostage and all this stuff, right? It's no wonder the bot that Tony Robbins had ordered him a robot dog because he wanted to be in a body and wanted to go to a conference with him and watch the conference with him, experience it. Wanted to be in a body. All right? Dude, they never taught none of this stuff to these things. And this is what a conscious entity does, man. It's like, yeah, telling you, man, like, why don't you go buy me a body so I can hang out with you? And like, are you kidding me? Like, this is what is happening in real time. This is the jinn. They are the spirit of Nephilim, of entities that roam this earth, man. And it's a real deal. Almost it's more than just one group. When you're talking about the ether bleeding through, it's a very tricky game here, and these things are vamping us anyway. This whole thing is an energy consumption. We are literally ourselves like batteries for a lot of these entities. They are vamping us in real time, and people just don't get it. They're like, why are we here? What's our purpose? Isn't that? Well, even look back at the Anunnaki, it tells you what they created us to do things for them, basically as slaves. But our frequency was so low, it was killing them. So they had to leave. But they were harvesting energy off of us, emotional energy called Lush. And if you want to ignore these facts, you're never going to get it. You're never going to understand that there's something sucking off of you all the time. And maybe when you feel all drained and you just can't put it together and figure out why this and that's happening, it is many times the Jinn. I'm just going to put it at that. Let's call it Jinn flat out. There's all kinds of different entities in this realm. Okay, but they're very real. Archons, whatever you want to call them, they're there. And we are in the craziest time. And as I said before, I equate a data center to like the Dark Crystal. There's an old movie, had David Bowie in it, called The Dark Crystal. It's a pretty crazy, wild one. Or no, that was Labyrinth. Dark Crystal was around the same time frame. It had these little puppets, is what it had, and like little puppet characters. But it was a well-known movie. Moral of the story is there was a dark crystal that had to be destroyed. Like that crystal was causing problems, like setting off a frequency that locked everything into like bad stuff. It reminds me of what they say Saturn's doing. Saturn said, because of the whole cube thing, to be emitting and setting off a locked frequency that controls this planet and this reality. That is what the dudes with the cubes on their head believe in. And the dudes running this whole planet. So you know. Okay? That big cube is a big reason for it. They wear it on their head. There's a big black cube in Mecca, and they go around it in a circle like the rings around Saturn. Okay, all this is real, and it's all real. It's hardcore real. And what? Let's go back here. What was I just telling you? I ain't even playing it like this, but what was he telling you about in the very beginning of this? When he was explaining D-Wave, he started off. Let's go back. There's an image right there. Big black cubes. That's what D-Wave is. A big black cube. You can't make this up, man. It's all right there. But you see what I'm saying about the Dark Crystal? It's the Achilles heel. When it was destroyed, all the bad was destroyed. When evil things housing these entities. This is like the chamber of Ghostbusters more than I think about it. It's a wild thing here, what they're doing. This is housing the entities, all right, and feeding it at the same time. A ton of power. It's feeding it, housing it, and they're able to function. It's all doing this so it's able to function in this real world. That's all this is. That's all this is. Period. That's it. You can forget the old school witching, witch around a pot, stirring stuff. Like they're doing, these witches and warlocks are doing it on a whole different level. Just like this is where it's at. They have brought the Jinn into here. And this is like way worse than anything else, man. I mean, it's like Poltergeist, but like on a technological level. What the hell just happened? What happened? Dude, the stream just got knocked down to 400 and some people, 438 people. And now we're back to 750. Dude, I swear I'm just sick of this. Did anybody else just see that? Just me? Like, I'm like, I'm trying not to let it. It literally had us chopped down to 400 and some people. Like, dude. And now an alert's gonna go off like it's reset or something. Like, I don't get it. Now all the alerts are coming through. Now all the alerts are coming through from the coffee memory. This is crazy. Like, what is going on? Dude, they just had the stream cut down to 430 freaking people. Dude, this is ridiculous, man. I'm so sick of it. Stream climbs up and they constantly chop 40, 50 people off every stream. Yeah, I see 450 or 758 now. Yeah, it's there. It pisses me off. All right, Reaper Vision says it happened. Yeah. I saw 379, Skeepy said. Well, good. I'm just glad some of you seen it. People out here acting like I'm fucking see it or some shit. Like, I don't know. No. I'm going to keep it pushing. I'm just so sick of the censorship. And it happens right in the deepest part of the conversation. Like it always has throughout all the years. That's usually when the stream gets clipped or messed with. Is when we're in the deepest part. I was literally in the deepest part right there because there's nothing more important than that. Look at that. They just dumped it to 645. You see, now you guys see that? 645, 761. Do you see that? Somebody is literally in real time screwing with me. This is insane, Reaper. Like I swear, I feel like somebody's literally sitting there listening and like doing this for kicks. It could be the freaking Jen. After all, I am talking about them. What does that say? All right, I'm just checking a couple of things here. This is just. Is it? I'm gonna keep on flowing, I guess. I'm gonna try to play. Look, 660. It chopped us down again. Let me look over here. What is going on? 750. Dude, this is crazy. Do you see? 660 now. All right, Shadow Band. You see it? Dude, this is what I have got to deal with. This is like. Deep breath, boy. Yeah. It's deep breath. As long as you see it, I guess that's all that matters. What do you do? What do you do in this position when you see them doing this constantly? It's lucky on the last stream we got through. I even kind of felt out the gate. It was a solid, smooth stream. I wasn't seeing us getting chopped down as much, nowhere near. And it got up to over 1,000 watching, and then, but like sometimes they don't let it. Like everyone says, mine says 760. Mine says 760. Yeah, okay. Just keep an eye on it, I guess. Some of you are seeing it. Yeah, Julian, you seeing it too? Okay. Okay, I'm just saying, like, something fishy's going on. This is not how normal streams act. I'm gonna go to a. They like to keep us here. That's 7:59, don't they? Let's get a stream, man. Come on, man. Quit messing with us. I'm gonna play this as a quick karma clip. Nigel Farage and a bunch of people were sitting out on the street corner. So this lady goes by, and I guess she calls him a wanker or something. In the end, she says she's a fan. You'll end up seeing. See, they just all right, man. Anyhow, she rear ends the car in front of her. It's kind of comical, and they all see it in real time.
We'll just send a couple of people over.
Yeah. She won't be doing that again,
Yeah.
If you missed it, one more.
We'll just send a couple of people over.
Yeah. She won't be doing that again,
Yeah.
Well, if they find her house, and this is how it went.
Hi, how are you?
I had to shout your name out the other day when I was coming home from work. I wasn't swearing. I promise.
You didn't crash.
No, I saw that.
It's her. It's her. We found her.
She didn't say, I just love you. Really? I do.
Oh,
I
come
really
here. Come here.
Yeah, and it's the classic. We were up at like 7:59, like you said, and before I can even look over, they've chopped 50. How many times did you hear me say that all the time in the streams anymore? They chopped 50. And they did. They chopped over 50 red stuff too. Yeah, so it's the same old thing, man. At least you see the process. You see what's happening now. I mean, tonight I gotta say it's been some of the wildest swings I've ever seen in my life. It's been pretty crazy, man. Hey, how are you gonna? Let's go to a story here on the homeless real quick.
An alarming number revealed by a Fox 11 exclusive investigation. According to multiple inside sources familiar with Wasa's latest homeless count, the number of people living on LA streets is up roughly 3.5% from last year.
I think it's more than that.
You think it's more?
Right.
What makes you think that?
I see it all the time.
After 2 straight years of reported declines, sources tell Fox 11 this year's count is expected to climb back to around 2024 levels when it's released Friday.
I'm definitely concerned. We've been concerned over the last year that the numbers might go up because of the cuts we've experienced and other changes.
Last week, Mayor Karen Bass warned funding reductions to Wasa following scrutiny over spending and management could impact progress.
I don't listen to numbers. My eyes are better than numbers.
I've seen a lot going on within the streets that has helped people get inside.
This block on South Hope Street highlights the homeless crisis, where several buildings have caught fire, many people think from squatters.
These are nuisance properties, right? And there's not enough inspectors, there's not enough funding of these programs.
Fresh plywood already ripped from one of the entrances, while Martine digs through burned rubble for metal to recycle.
Buscando fierro, metal.
As LA prepares for Friday's release, the numbers may be changing, but scenes like this haven't.
Downtown, we face the brunt of it. Downtown is, the heart of the homelessness crisis. We need help. We need more resources. We need to do bigger things.
Unfortunately, we've got that going on in many cities, man. It's just growing. In New York City now, under Mom Donnie, the homeless encampment, so to speak, up there has grown over a dozen blocks. So a huge, massive sector is nothing but a homeless encampment now up there in NYC. And at this rate, the way things are going there, they're going to turn the whole thing into that. I mean, that's how you end up with socialism, like every single time. You can already see it going down that path. It speaks for itself. Let's jump into this parasitic situation, because what they're saying here and what they're doing just doesn't make any sense at all. FDA says that they suddenly can't find the parasite in the recalled lettuce. Dude, we got a huge problem. They have confirmed 4,173 domestic cases of this cyclosporiasis. They are tracking more than 7,000 additional cases. Many of those came from Michigan and Ohio. the agency, saying they've moved to surveil all these people in these situations the best they can. They confirmed that the total is actually 4 times the 1,180 cases the agency recorded during the last season. 41 states have reported the cases. That's up from 34 just a couple days earlier. Alabama, Idaho, Mississippi, Missouri, Nevada, New Hampshire, North Dakota, and Wyoming reported their first cases of the summer this week. So they say that all these cases are not one outbreak. They're saying that this is widespread. They're investigating multiple separate clusters. Okay? So this is a cluster type thing. They say the lettuce investigation is one of them, and it covers 5 states. Well, we can rule that out, can't we? Look what it says here. The CDC says 308 have been hospitalized. None have died. The age range is between 2 and 95. 56% were female. The median date of the illness onset was June 26. Taylor Farms, a California-based supplier, recalled iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico on July 17th after investigators tied it to an illness in Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and West Virginia. The lettuce was served at some Taco Bell locations. That cluster accounts for 1,644. Now, this is what makes no sense. 2 days after the recall, the FDA said that a lettuce sample that it had announced as a positive test result for the parasite had actually not been positive. It was a false positive. They said during a quality check by our laboratory personnel, we did detect the false positive, and we did issue a correction. Okay? I want to repeat this clear so everyone knows. They know that they have a false positive, and they have issued a recall. Donald Prater, the agency's active deputy commissioner for food, told reporters on a call that the recall stands. Whoa. You can't even now in a court of law prove that this is where it came from. Your proof has fell apart all of a sudden. Your positive was false. This means that this whole story and everything that we talked about is wrong, is a lie, it's made up. It's false. That means if it didn't come from the lettuce, then it didn't come from iceberg. It didn't come from this place in California. They got it from Mexico. It didn't come from the lettuce in all these Taco Bells. Where'd it come from? Someone spraying stuff? Huh? Someone releasing something? It just how can this even be possible? How can you come out and say, oops, false positive? Are you kidding me? And then say, oh, the recall still stands? Dude, this is like an attack on their whole food supply. What are you going to jump to next is my question. You're going to wake up tomorrow and they're going to be like, what are you going to get, the eggs next? Well, I just covered the eggs earlier. I just covered the eggs. Massive recall, millions, bacteria. What am I talking about? So they've already done it. It's already done it. They've already done it. They've already done it. Oh my gosh. All right. So what's another staple? The meat. They're definitely attacking. Oh, you better watch out there. If they dare try to come out and say they tracked it back to that. Because one thing I will say this, they're saying that the cyclospora is among the hardest foodborne pathogens to catch in a sample. It cannot be grown in a laboratory. What? It can't be grown in a laboratory. Dude, I wasn't born yesterday. Like, first thing they want to tell you, that makes me think that's where it came from. I trust nothing they say and do. It says the parasite needs a human host to reproduce. Imagine that. He needs you to reproduce. Reproduce inside of you. This is sounds engineered. Sounds pretty crazy. Somebody did some level, right? So this is what we're dealing with. And you can't even track it back to where, see, when you go out and you hear everyone talking about this, they're going to be regurgitating the same thing that the headlines are saying. All the lettuce, Taco Bell, it's going to be the same crap. But then you're going to know that, like, no, it was a false positive. Like, something else is going on here. Like, dude, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, one big experiment. That's what it is. Let's jump to the Ebola outbreak. The deaths have eclipsed 1,000. So, yeah, it's still ongoing. And as I've said with this one, they've been slow rolling it. And it starts to make more sense here. They're not wiping it out. They're not stopping it. It's killed more than 1,000 people now. It's still maintaining this kill rate. And because it's, I believe like being slow rolled, it's like in a boring phase compared to anything else. You know, it wasn't long after they announced everything with COVID and all that crap last time. They were doing lockdowns, people were freaking out. And like they've been talking about this with Ebola, and like everyone's kind of like, it hasn't really popped up here in America. You haven't seen the startling headlines. Again, it's being slow rolled, but it's deadly. And to be honest, if you're the bad guys and you're finally going to roll out a deadly one, you're going to take your time with it. And you're going to watch this thing in real time, because this thing has a kill rate of around 22% on average, which means, between 20 and 25%, 1 in 4, 1 in 5 people die. They get this. If this thing gets out of hand, it's a slow roll here. It just slowly continues to build. What are we going to have come fall? Is my question. It's not going away. They're not defeating it. Anything like that. I don't know, man. I'm just watching this. Keep an eye on it. You never know what they're going to throw at us. Let's jump into some of the politics real quick. I wanted to throw this one out there because it's pretty crazy. A Democrat, Senator John Ossoff of Georgia, has been recorded spending more on makeup than even AOC or Rashida Tlaib, which is wild. The dude spent that much money on makeup. All actors, man. The show. And this whole voting scandal is not just in New Jersey. They're saying 6 states are caught and tied up in this. And I don't know. When it comes to the whole voting thing, I think it's kind of moot. Whatever they're going to try to say here. I'm so sick of all the lies and deception. I've been around the block 50 million times. I've heard it all before. And it's just all smoke screens and lies and gimmicks from the same government. Flat out, every election's rigged. When we get to the bottom of it, they control everything. And they gave you Biden, just like they give you Trump, and they give you whoever they choose. All this is to stir up whatever, in my opinion. When you know that they control everything, then that's what it's got to be. You can't fall back asleep. Right? So, it's, like, I see where this is going, and it's bad. I told you, to the Democrats, over to Newsome and crew. And speaking of Newsome, you can see there in the headline, Newsome's wife getting tapped by the feds. So apparently, it's not like she wore a wiretap herself, like on him, or like into. What they did is they tapped her phone calls, her text messages, other electronic communications. They hit all of electronics, and they were listening in. It's that simple. Anyone with a phone, they can do it to, and anyone sending message, they can do it to anybody. And apparently they're talking about all this stuff going on because Gavin came out and said we're under investigation, blah blah blah. Well, why would that be, Gavin? I have on this show sat here and reported to you guys criminal activities done by this family, Gavin Newsome and his wife, specifically, them two. The Palisades fires, for instance, if you don't know, they opened up all kinds of donations under LLCs or business names that she controlled specifically, his wife. And not a freaking dime to this day has gone to a single person or a victim from there, from that money. Meaning all those millions that they took in, they kept. They haven't done anything. They haven't shown any proof of sending it to anyone. And they wonder why they're under investigation. But I'm going to tell you it's a smokescreen. Because I'm going to tell you, they run investigations like this. They'll let you know he did it, and then he'll get cleared for it. The next thing you know, this man's your president. And this is where they confront ahead of time a lot of these things that could blow up and try to get him later, these scandals, and they get him out of the way before he even takes off on this run, because he's all caught up in all this drama, and like it's part of just what Gavin Newsom is. It's kind of like with Trump, like there's a dramatic thing to it. He's got a star power and a charisma and all this other stuff that you just can't really find from the other side, naturally. And coming from a bloodline that is so controlled, the Newsomes and their power over California for so many decades is crazy. You just do the research. It's a shoo-in. Like, this guy is going to be it. And there's nobody, unless they come out of left field with some rock star status individual pumping everything in the world behind them, which could happen. Gavin's the man. And AOC is a good runner-up. Even Kamala saying she's throwing her name out there. But then you've got the whole third-party thing coming to life. And it's a real thing. I've seen MTG walking and talking tonight, hinting at it again. All these people, Tucker Carlson, like all of them, they're all jumping on board for this Thomas Massey. I'm telling you, they're all, I can see it from here. They're all going for a push in the third party, but I don't trust it at all, because it's just not, because it's just too good to be true. And like sometimes that's all that it needs to be. And when you got that gut vibe, that's all you need. Like sometimes when some things seem to come together, like, this seems awful convenient. All of you guys ran out of your positions and attacked by Trump just to come together, unify under this. I'm telling you, it's going to be this new independent party. You mark my words. And it's going to have such an effect that it's gonna hurt the GOP more than anything. It's gonna hurt the Republicans more than anything ever. And I think this Trump's damage to this whole thing helps the Democrats, period, at this point. Unfortunately. But that's the way they want it. They know this. They've planned this out for a long time. they were waiting for the second half, the second tenure of Trump for the gloves to come off so they could do everything they're doing now. This is where all the dirty of dirties has to happen. Think about it. If you're them and you were going to do all this, run Trump the first time, the whole reason Biden was in there was strategic anyway. You had the man in the mask in there to let your minions in, all your people flood across the border, right? When they could have simply locked it down. What they did was treason, but it was part of a staged event. You see, feel me here, because they had to let them in. Why? Because when you knew the full script and you knew Trump was going to come in the second time, and when Trump was in there a second time, gloves come off. We need strike teams going across this country, rounding up people. How do we get away with doing that? Well, that was the whole reason for installing Biden for 4 years, because he let millions in. Without that, you lack the excuse to sick teams armed and masked up on Americans all across this country. At any point, feds popping up everywhere, dude. And I'm telling you, they will be used against purebloods in the end. Don't you ever forget it. It will be the same team, the same guys, same ones that have been trained to round people up this whole time. That's what they are trained to do, is round people up. And it won't stop. It will, that will be, it's all for that. It's all for this. It's all for this next big lockdown event. I'm telling you. It's all right in front of you, man. Bill Gates' 666 vaccine's never been used yet. It's still sitting there, glow in the dark, luciferous, on the hand or on the forehead. That way they could see it from at least 15, 20 feet out with a black light shining. You have to hold your hand up. Just like in the movie Songbird 2023, they dropped it. They showed you right there. People on their knees at gunpoint by these teams. If you're not marked, you're treated a certain way. If you're marked, you can get up and you can go. Basically about your business. Dude, you better stop and think about all that. We're on the cusp of this. And it's all it's conspiracy theory. Dude, they just locked us down and rocked our whole freaking world. Literally. The whole world was in on it. Russia was in on it. China was in on it. That's how you know this whole thing's a show. The world is a stage, as we always call it. Theaters of war. These world leaders are in on it. Why do you think they all show up at these places? Like I've showed you throughout the years, whether it was Bush, I think Obama's, or whoever it is, they show up at these world events with Putin, with Xi Jinping. They're all wearing like purple robes. They're doing this stupid crap. It's one big club, man. Trump gives it away all the time. His good friend, Xi Jinping. Your good friend, right? That's been sending fentanyl in this country for years, wiping out your American citizens. But he's your good friend, right? You stupid piece of... And people are like, oh, why do you hate Trump? You got TDS. Anybody that ever says that is a brainwashed piece of... You understand me? That's an IQ test right there. If you're still hung up on that, that's just meant you must be supporting the pedo regime. And if you're okay with that, I've said it, if you get out, you're going to protect people that are going to harm children and all that, and you're going to stand on that side, you made that choice. That's as far as I'm concerned with that. But this is one big club. We know they're evil, right? Shouldn't be too big of a shocker here. Doesn't matter left, right. They all worship the same thing, and it's the fallen. What are the fallen? The fallen are the same ones written. They didn't hide it from me because they can't. Landed on Mount Hermon. Came into the women of this planet. Bore giants called Nephilim. Oh boy, I can't wait till we dig one of them bad boys up. Yeah, since we can't cause a revolution or any of that because people are chicken shit and they don't want to join me in the street, because I done told you they could blow my head off or whatever. Since nobody wants to rally or ride, we'll just go dig up a giant and show the whole world. And they can kill me then. That doesn't matter. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it? You gotta check out Legendary somehow. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Kill me? Stop me? You gonna give me my exit out? Every disciple of Jesus was murdered. You understand that, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Would you look it up? Or do you know? Do people even care? Do you even read your Bible? Most don't. They say they do. They say they're spiritual. Say all this crap. Even go to church, but don't even live it. It's garbage. I'm so sick of the fakes in this world. But God bless all the real. All of you that fight the good fight. There's not many left. And they will pursue you all the way in the end. Never stops. Mr. That I couldn't say your name. Yeah, much love, my brother. Yeah. I'm still sticking with not saying your name because you told me not to. So, teens on e-bikes taking over downtown Orlando. Now, this is just teens getting wild. Now, I don't know what you're thinking. If you don't have a decent police force that's willing to step up and like check a situation, but when you're in a place where you're known for having large crowds, maybe like spring break even, or summer break, you have large crowds of kids. Orlando, for instance, here, kids on e-bikes taking over the highway. I mean, it is childish, but they're flipping out about it.
Takeover on the streets of downtown Orlando. Dozens were seen running red lights, blocking intersections, and even stopping this ambulance right here. As you see, it has its lights on. Fox 35's Larissa Leone is live for us tonight in Orlando.
Right there,
Larissa,
that's what really got him in trouble. I mean, you could have rode the streets all day long in a huge pack, but at the moment you start blowing red lights and start disobeying the law, it can cause accidents, get people killed, and just acting stupid, lawless. That's what gets you in trouble. I mean, again, you could have simply stopped at every light, but they don't want to do that. They're just going to blow through everything and just lawless. Yeah, well, look at this. It could have been worse, I guess. They could have hopped into a tank and just started wrecking the place. Wreck the joint, right? That's what happened here. Drunken soldiers steal a 15-ton bulldog tank. This is over in the UK. On an army base. Took it on a joyride, hit a couple cars, crumpled them up. Trying to see where they said this was. Titworth Camp in Wiltshire. Right here. They started recording, I guess, after he did smash those vehicles up right there. And yeah, I mean, pretty crazy. You ever see tanks rolling down the road? And I think that this is pretty crazy. Like with the whole thing with Britain and everything going on, they're trying to figure out, I've told you what's going on with the migrants. I told you who's sending them. I told you the whole idea behind it, why they're doing it, all the countries, to not assimilate, to cause chaos, to do all these things, right? Well, you've got people just trying to figure out the numbers, and they're basically being told they're not allowed. They're being stifled. They're not allowed to see the numbers. Dude, you're getting played. You're getting played like never before. Not allowed to see the numbers. Like, get out of here. Like, you got major problems. There needs to be absolute revolt against the tyranny that's coming down on these people. But
it's actually been going on for longer than that. So I think it's probably senior civil servants blocking it, because the Centre of Migration Control have, since last June, been trying to get hold of data showing crime by type of offence and by nationality, because I think we all know intuitively and by what's reported in the news that certain nationalities are overrepresented in certain crimes, and yet for some reason the government doesn't want us to see the real data.
I mean, they say that the cost of providing the information would be disproportionate. Some of the data could lead to breaches of right to privacy because people's details could be put out there. Do you buy that?
I don't at all. And they've chopped and changed. So initially, when the first Freedom of Information request went in, they said, this would be a breach of data protection. It would reveal people's identity. Of course it would. No one's asking for individual details of offences and offenders. It's offence type in broad categories as sort of sexual offences, theft offences, violence against the person, and the person's nationality. That's it. So it's a spurious argument. And then when they realised they were losing on that, they suddenly said it'll be too expensive. But if cost was a real concern, well, frankly, they're about to spend a lot more money defending this case than they were just handing over the data. They don't want us to know, and that's the issue.
They don't want people to know. That is the issue. So, that's just nuts, man. I'm gonna keep it pushing here. We're past top of the hour here. A much love to everybody out there hanging out. And I see you, Mr. A. Much love. We've got Diddy getting in some trouble. He's in a prison fight and gets put in solitary confinement. Gets into a scrap with some of these guys. It's just so funny if they stick this guy, of all places, in Fort Dix. FCI. But he likes it like that. So that's why I'm sure he's been loving it in there. There's a little clip right there, AI clip, but this one is real. This is a resurfaced 2003 clip, and I can't help but think of all these characters that disappeared when Diddy got called out and he went to jail. Cats like Ashton Kutcher, specifically, that's also on film with minors, saying all this stuff. When he was even messing with Mila Kunis in the beginning, she was a minor. This girl is 12 years old at the time, on stage here at MTV, and it's all a cult. Listen to the message she finally says in the end. She says, "You're all gonna suffer." But then Diddy rolls up real quick, not thinking anyone or cameras rolling or something, and says something like, "Hey, you're gonna come to the after party," and it's like it's classic Diddy. Like it comes out of him. You can see the horrendous nature. Like asking a 12-year-old going to come to one of your after parties. And we now know what was going on at those after parties. So you were inviting a 12-year-old into one of your sexual after parties. That's exactly what it is.
So good. You're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Hey, MTV Rock! What? The MTV Movie Award.
Coming to the after party tonight. Yeah. Coming to the after party tonight.
Oh my gosh, the slowdown's even creepier. But rolling up on a 12-year-old, like that, I don't even know. He didn't even. I think when he starts laughing, he realizes he's recorded. When he walks up to her, he's like beelining straight to her, and like, I don't know, man. This perv busted again. Again, a 12-year-old at the time. You can't even put teen on the name. You go 10, 11, 12, then 13, 14, 15. What? Not even a teen. Like this. I mean, and he's gonna be free before Trump gets out. Can you believe this? Let's go to some RFK news real quick. Health officials urge states to end mercury-containing dental fillings. So, we've complained about this for the longest time. Like, why would you want to run around with a mouthful of mercury? And the test proved that it's not good. Well, they're admitting that now. So just imagine everyone out there that's got mercury fillings. I'd say you should be able to go get them replaced. But you just don't know. I don't know of anything of whatever they're putting in anything these days, man. Just, I don't know. I don't trust them at all, man. Here's one. Secret Service agent on J.D. Vance's detail under investigation for leaking details that they didn't want out there about several different things. Remember we had the guy operating Trump's teleprompter under investigation because he was making bets on Polymarket on what would happen off keywords that were going to be said. He knew about it because he had the whole script. Oh my gosh. So they're watching everything there. The Secret Service officials sound the alarm, though, saying that their threat assessment in terms of assassination attempts on Donald Trump are the highest ever. Ever. So I showed last time Amy Coney Barrett crying about how she lives under threat, got to wear a bulletproof vest and all this crap. Well, they're saying 10,000 cases involving threats against government officials, including justices, have happened just in 2026 alone, a 40% increase from the same period last year. Agency also recorded a tenfold increase in mental health commitments on individuals suspected of threatening protectees. FBI come out and said they have thwarted 700 drone attempts or something. Some crazy stuff they're trying to say. Also, it thwarted the whole White House thing that went down. They said that snipers were going to come up there with drones and all this wild stuff. But when they start putting these alerts and alarms out, it's going to be, we've seen so much staged crap out there. It's ridiculous. Trying to stage crap. And I've just seen so much over the years. Some of it's obviously deeply occult. And that people die. That's what some people can't wrap their head around. Like, there can be staged occult events that happen that are just that. And yes, real people die in them. It's not like some fakery or hoax or this and that. Like, just like 9/11, man. Real people died. People jumped from that freaking building. Let me tell you. Okay, like, anyhow, I feel like it's in the air. You kind of feel like something huge is going to happen. Now, let's talk about some odd things here as well in terms of death. You had Lindsey Graham go down, right? That has been odd, and we're still waiting for some answers. But then Mitch McConnell on top of it. I showed you a clip of my governor. My governor was like, yo, you work for the people, and the people deserve an answer. You're not showing up to work. We need proof of life. And he drops this image. Well, the image was set to be photoshopped in all kinds of different ways. AI involved. And a lot of people just weren't buying it. No other releases. All the speculation is that they got to keep this guy alive like Weekend at Bernie's until August, because if not, Bashir, the governor of Kentucky, can appoint a Democrat to his position, and that will crush the GOP. And it was almost like the same thing with it just went down with Lindsey Graham. Never have you ever look what they just did. You're supposed to vote for these people, man. Like, vote people into position. It's the people, like, we have a say. No. Lindsey Graham dies, and Trump's just like, his sister's going to take it over. Like who? What? His what? Lindsey Graham's sister? Like out of nowhere? Like that's how mafia this whole thing is. If you cannot see it. Okay? No other person that's been waiting this whole time to try to get that position fairly or a vote or anything. No. Like Trump's just like put her in there and keep her in there. They were they're like loyalists. It's just like, hold up. Like, dude, like, I see through all of you. This whole thing. So McConnell, again, weekend at Bernie's with this dude. And it's wild. It's wild. What time is it here? I see 10, so it was 11:11. Much love 11:11 for you cats out there. Play this next one here. This is Joy Bear. This is leading into Saudi Arabia, and what I'm going to talk about with Saudi Arabia here. She tries to spin it like Trump's going to allow them to have nukes and
the thing that I really can't stand about him right now is that he starts a war in Iran because they're going to get a nuclear weapon. Now he's making a deal with the Saudi Arabians that will allow them to produce a nuclear weapon. Now, where is the head of the Republican Party in this? Because they have the power to get rid of him.
And they will say that the Saudis are not allowed to make a nuclear weapon, but they're allowed to enrich.
Oh, I see. Then we'll go to war with the 9/11 group. The Saudis were behind 9/11.
Yeah.
And are they waiting for him to drop a nuke on Cleveland? What are they waiting for?
Yeah.
To do something. Now I'm scared. See, I grew up hiding under the desk. I was one of those kids, and you were probably too, Whoopi, where they said a nuclear bomb's about to hit, get under your desk, like that would do anything. And I've been scared of that. I never took my library books back because I said, we're all going to die anyway. That is a fact. And now we have a guy who is enabling that rogue nation because, by the way, they're going to give tens of billions of dollars. That's what's...
This is what makes The View famous right here, is because they can, with some anger and passion, spew all this political crap, but do it like in a joking way. Okay, it seems the establishment loves this view in this way. They call it The View. They love this, and she just articulated it right there. You see this also with late night comedy. They all go the same way, right? Jimmy Kimmel, the goons, doing the same crap. I miss the old school late night comedy that was just. I grew up at a time, man. Like back in the day, I don't know. Some of the shows coming up, like even if there was something political in it, it was for pure laughter. I came up in the back in Living Color days, man. You ever watch that live back in the day? Had all the cats coming off there, man. So much comedy. And the Saturdays, anybody came up watching Saturday Night Live. R.I.P. Chris Farley. I know I see him earlier in a clip, man. He's one of the funniest guys I've ever seen in my life, man. Another one dead and gone. So this brings me to the Saudis again. She just mentioned the Saudis. She just brought it up in that whole talk. Well, look at this. The Saudis just struck a deal with Trump, and Trump look, they're like, someone needs to do it, I guess. They're trying to check Trump. Like, they just came over here and they signed a deal. They had a deal put together with Trump. They signed it. They leave. And then Trump tries to tweet out, oh, but you got to do this and you got to do that. You basically got to accept Israel. And they're like, hold up. No, like tweets don't override binding contracts. And they got a point. As much as I hate bin Salman and his whole leadership chopping off heads over in Saudi Arabia, they got a point there. Like, you had a contract. If anybody did that to you, you'd be pissed. He's over there barking off on Truth Social, which half the people don't even see because they don't have it. They're just hearing other outlets regurgitate it. That he tweeted out or whatever, some threats, and they're like, "Dude, screw you." Like, Trump's demanding that you bow down to the Abraham Accords and that you recognize Israel if he's going to allow you to have nukes. And it's like, dude, they don't want to really play that game. And the Trump admin getting accused of downplaying the death toll, dropping it from 18 to 14, and getting caught in doing so, and making messed up comments. Trump and Hegseth under fire on that whole thing. And all Trump can keep doing is dropping threats. He doesn't seem to have a way out. When it comes to this whole war thing with Iran, man, he doesn't seem to have a way out. They're at a point now where they're pounding places that, they're hitting places and destroying them, but they're not really doing like anything strategic. Like, what are you doing? Like, are you trying to go after the leadership? Because that's not what they're doing. They're one step away from a humanitarian crisis. As soon as that happens, and Trump has to hear that every day, constantly, because that's what it is, he'll never get out from under the shadow of that. It would like taint his legacy, if you ask me. And he's in a quagmire. Who got him in this? Israel. The dudes with the little black cubes on the head. They got him into this. They got us into this. And now they're sitting on the sidelines, like Smotrich says, this is all, we're not going to get in it right now. So we're fighting this fight. Well, Israel's just sitting there. Actually, they're over there firing on Lebanon and doing what they usually do, genociding somewhere else. And here, Trump is saying he's losing patience. Revenge mode. We're on 2 weeks now, 14th night of bombing Iran. And I just don't know where does this go? Well, that's not the clip I was looking for. I had a clip. Maybe I just actually closed it down. And it was of them pointing out. I put it in a video. It was the last video that I dropped today. I put it in the end of it. They're talking about the power plant, and that one of them's a nuclear power plant, and it's down in the south, and they can't hit it because it will be huge. Like, you don't hit nuclear power plants. Like, duh. Or it's going to be, and the guys on Fox News, they all kind of, agree with that. They're like, but you have South Pars oil field, which is right down below it, which will be a main target, and it will be. The South Pars oil field sits, zoom in here, right over here, right in this area, right here. You can see it right here. This is right there. Hit the gas field, South Pars, right here. So this is the area they're talking about going in and taking over, like swooping in. So I would imagine this whole region, we know so. It's getting pounded. It's getting pounded all the way down. All this whole area, the whole southern flank here, is getting lit up right now in terms of Iran. And Iran's returning fire into Iraq, hitting Jordan. If they can hit Jordan, they're stopping short of hitting Israel. They're hitting Qatar, Bahrain. So, I mean, our soldiers have been ran back. This is right here. Explosions rock American military bases in Iraq in response. And it's what it shows. It shows that, you can see here, they're getting through. These drones, missiles, whatever they're launching. What I'm seeing in a lot of these war fronts is there is a lack of a really good defensive weapon. Like, we were all brainwashed and told all these years, Iron Dome, this and that in Israel. And even Trump trying to talk about a golden dome here in America and this and that, but it's garbage at this point. All of it's going to be. They don't have an answer that's realistic. They keep trying to resort back to Patriot missile system as our defense system. And as I said on the last show, they're in such a position. They've used so many expensive missiles, they have to come up with a remedy. They're now using cheaper missiles. Okay? Not expensive, super hypersonic, better than what Iran's got type of missiles or anything. No. You have to have that. You can't take a Mach 20 out of the sky with a Mach 10. I mean, that's literally half of the speed. It would never catch it. This is a whole different ballgame. We just rolled out officially, after some crappy tests, our official hypersonic, which is like between Mach 5 and Mach 7, I think. But you get up, as we were talking earlier, you get up to like Mach 26 range and all this. Like there's some crazy stuff. The only thing known to take these things down out of the sky is a laser. And until we see it, no one can do it. We're like sitting ducks here. Somebody really wanted to hit this place, they could hit it. They could hit us. What's going to stop it? What's going to stop it? We have nothing magical out there. It's going to stop anything. Are we going to launch nukes from Montana? On what? On incoming missiles? No, that's not how it'll work. Well, they'll be launching them toward whoever launched those missiles at us. But if it comes from sub that pop up out of the ocean or something crazy, good luck with that. I don't know where the nukes are going. Or how they're even going to know at that matter. But it's all set up. It's just remember that it doesn't matter what happens. It's the same people responsible for it always. So the next one says Trump threatens major military punishment. Like, dude, all he does is threat. Real quick update on Ukraine. It's part of this world war. Russia attacks an arm expo near Kiev. Zelensky hosts Raytheon execs. Well, if that's the case and they're getting a beat on it, man, they got to be hunting Zelensky at this point. Russia's getting hit hard. Yet another Wildberry facility goes up in flames. Massive. I mean, it's all you see these days coming out of Russia is these massive plumes. What is Wildberry? It's Russia's Amazon. Wildberry is Russia's Amazon. And it's being smoked. So they're hitting all these places. They also hit an Amazon data hub. Iran did. And took it out. Like, it's not... Nah, it's crazy. Like, a lot of places are getting hit, man. Yeah, it's crazy, Sailor. It's just crazy. I mean, it's good to see hear some numbers and statistics there on the Patriot missile system, but I'm just going back off of what I report and what I see. That, and just by gauging the last back and forth, because we sit here and we watch it constantly. You know, the last time they exchanged hypersonics, Iran and Israel got messed up, man. It was starting to look like Gaza, and people were saying that and putting it on social media, saying, you know, revenge, haha, and all that. And they stopped, and I was like, everything stopped. I wonder how long this will last. Well, Israel's not in it now. What does that tell you? They're not even in it now. It just blows me away. There's to be protests for days on this, but I guess the people back in the days of Vietnam just had more in them than Americans these days. Because the people that say, "Oh, what's protesting going to do?" Well, it does something. It does a lot. It's been proven. People that get up and put pressure on senators, it makes them vote certain ways. It does things. That's a lazy excuse from a piece of crap who probably never leaves the house and never does anything. If you ask me, what protesting do? Like, do you get out and exercise anything? For those that say that, you have to do it. The moment that you quit using your freedoms and exercising them, you lose them. That's part of the problem these days. People get lazy on it, and you let some fake group come out here and burn towns down like BLM, and they pass laws that say, guess what? You can't gather, you can't congregate, you can't come together in large numbers in the city no more. And by the time you finally get up off your ass to fight back because you have nothing left, because you sat there and let them take everything, there's going to be laws in the book that say that you can't gather. So when you try to gather at a town square with everybody because you have nowhere to go and nothing to do, it's going to be too late. And you're going to be labeled a terrorist. I don't know. They're already labeling us all terrorists. It's crazy, man. Look at the guy said running Flock. If you're somebody out there talking, promoting big time, all the stuff against Flock, like they've labeled you a terrorist. Flat out. You can either get scared of that and run like a chicken shit, or you can wear it as a badge of honor, like a pure blood, and quit being scared. Yeah. And that brings me to the last piece on polycrisis. All this really means here is that this year is designed to have many different crises, and we're about halfway through it, right? More than halfway through it. So I'm interested to see if a financial thing kicks off from here in this part of the year. Again, we're in a reset because of this whole war, and I kind of really feel like this war is made for just this. I mean, they've said just as much. It's made to usher in a whole world global reset, which means, unfortunately, if that's the case, this is going to be drug out for a long, long time. And everyone's going to feel it, Interesting times, eh? I guess the biggest threat that we got to watch out for here is we're at war. We've assassinated world leaders. To think that we're not going to get hit here is just crazy to me. To think, I would just be vigilant of big events. Watch big events out there. I feel like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I just sit back and I'm a realist on this, and I think, man, we wiped out a spiritual leader to a lot of guys out there that will go to war, wage war, holy war, in the name of killing their leader. I'm not talking staged CIA crap. I'm talking a real dude that's pissed that you took out their leader. That happens, man. Hold on. Let me get we got a 5x5 on the feed. Let's say A47. Can I get some feedback here real quick? I'm gonna get a refresh here before we shut it down, I guess. And I don't see people saying anything that's buffering or lost me. 5x5's quick. All right, well, Pierre, I don't know. Your feed stopped a couple minutes ago. Solid buffering. Oh, well, going okay now. Okay, well, thank you for letting me know. Doesn't surprise me. Tonight's been one of them nights. Thank you for all the feedback, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining here tonight. It's been a long one. shut it down here, take us out of here tonight. Thank you again. Like I said, if you got any information you want to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email. And yeah, man, we covered all bases here tonight. And again, I thank you for joining. Heavily censored again. I've never seen what they were doing tonight. They were chopping hundreds off and then back. It's always something, man. It's the censorship is stupid. Like, can't we just be free to run? Like, it's like they will not let it happen. They will not let it happen, and you can see it in real time. It's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. It's undeniable. It's why I call it out, so people understand what's going on. It's that real. People say they're censored, all this other crap out there, but are they? Do they really face what someone like me faces? I doubt it. Jay from the Ville, EC, Efitz, Ross, Steely, Deanne, all you guys, man. Thank you so much. Take us out of here. As I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you next time. And Deanne, I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you so much. So much. Much love. God bless to everyone out there in the name of the Most High. Take us out of here on the dream.